So in this video, we are not talking about espresso making or bean grinding. We are actually looking at one of the much simpler option for coffee lovers, and this is the Keurig 2.0. The 2.0 actually came out for quite some time now, and this is actually one of the older versions that they had. So one of my wife's coworker had this machine laying around, and he actually left the job and he left the machine over there. He said to us, feel free to grab it. So I grabbed this machine because I want to test it out and see whether it's able to make a decent cup of coffee. Now, we're not expecting espresso quality coffee or Americano kind of a flavor. We are just trying to see if the Keurig 2.0 is able to make a cup of decent coffee. Okay, so before we start, I'm gonna go through the features or go through the entire machine to show you guys what this machine is made of and some of its functions. It's actually quite simple, simpler actually in terms of design, I think, compared to the Nespresso machines, which uses a smaller pot. The Keurig uses this kind of a larger kind of a pod. So basically, you open up this tab and it exposes this area, which is the brewing chamber. The brewing chamber had a whole bunch of needles, on the top and down there. The needle, you drop this in here, the needle pokes a hole in here, and the top actually pushes the hot liquid into the cup, and it goes out through the hole from the cup and then out into the actual cup that you have. Okay, so that's the basic mechanism. There's also a boiler somewhere hidden in the chamber that you don't see. The boiler actually heats up. It reserves a small amount of water, so it's always going to be almost ready anytime you need to brew. So and also this chamber is very easily removed for service. You just press the two sides. Kind of hard to do with one hand, so I'm going to try my best. You press on two sides and it actually pops out like so. So when this pops out, you can put this, under hot water or just do a regular clean using espresso cleaners, or if you want, use citric acid, or are very good at removing coffee scales and coffee grease whatsoever that's going to be might be left over in the chamber. This chamber I have done a complete clean, so it's like super clean, and I'm just going to show you guys how it works. Okay, so basically you drop this in here. You don't have to do much, just make sure you have fresh water in the reservoir. The reservoir is fairly large. It's able to make 3 to 4 large cups of drinks or coffees. Okay, so it doesn't have any milk steaming feature, so if you want steaming feature, you might have to look for some more advanced machines, or if you have a espresso machine laying around, you can always use the frother from the steamer from the espresso machine to make a latte as you wish. I'm gonna grab a cup. So we are just going to make a small cup of coffee, probably around 8 ounces of coffee. Let's just give it a try and see whether it works and how it tastes. The thing I'm using is Costco medium roast organic coffee. I'm writing a paper tonight, so I'm just gonna show you guys and drink this coffee after we finish making it. Okay, so there's an LCD screen on there. It's actually a touch screen, so which is pretty cool. So again, just press it down. Once you press it down, it's gonna heat up. Sometimes it heats up really fast. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to heat up. And you have the option of changing the size of the dispensed water or dispensed coffee. The largest volume you can get is a 10 ounce, and you can go from all the way from 4 ounce to 10 ounce. Okay, 10 ounce is going to be a pretty big stretch. So I would say like a good cup of coffee is going to be around 6 to 8 ounce. So we're going to try 8 ounce. And if there's a few other options, you can make it strong. I don't really understand what that means. Maybe it brews for a little longer time before it dispenses, so it makes a strong coffee. And if you have hot chocolate or coca, you have this option to dispense or to brew specifically for hot chocolate which is kind of like a milk-based powder that you can mix and have it dispense the amount of dispense the liquid based on hot chocolate volume or whatever. So those are all the options you have, and it tells you it's ready. So we're gonna make a 8-ounce cup of coffee. We're gonna make it strong, and let's brew. And if you need to brew, just hit this cool little button, and it's gonna start brewing. It's pumping some liquid into the cup, like a pre-infusion kind of a thing. All right, so as it pumps the liquid, it just keeps pumping and the water actually comes out eventually. And this process, it's more like a drip coffee as opposed to like a real espresso, which had a pressurized chamber. This chamber is not pressurized. It's actually atmospheric pressure. There are holes in the front and the back, and it just pushes the liquid through that little cup in there. Okay, so it's still brewing. Right now it looks about 6 ounces of volume, and the liquid is already becoming pretty clear. Okay, so at this moment, again, if you want stronger, try 6. 6 might be a better option. And I'm assuming it's gonna stop soon. Yep, that's about 8 ounces of cup of coffee. And the liquid is pretty clear at this moment. So I would say the grounds has been, used up pretty much. If you go for a 10 ounce, it's gonna be really, really underpowered. Okay, don't try 10 ounce unless you want a 10 ounce water for, to make a hot tea or whatever. Okay, so the brew is complete. It just tells you it's complete, and it's gonna heat up, ready for the next brew. And if you lift this, you can see it poked a hole over there, and it's probably gonna have a hole at the bottom as well. Okay, so that's how it works. There's a bigger hole coming from the top. Water comes from the top, actually from the pipe in the little pin over there, and it goes through the bottom chamber right there. I mean, it smells decent. Let's see. Honestly, it smells like drip coffee. Okay, it doesn't smell like a Americano, which you usually it's diluted espresso, but it's again the taste of Americano is gonna be much more stronger. It's got more solid in the coffee. This one is actually pretty clear. You don't see much solid going around here. I'm gonna wait for a little bit, and I'm gonna give it a taste. Let's see what it tastes like. Yep. It's not bitter. It's acidic, slightly acidic. I would say a decent extraction, especially for one of those coffee pods. And in terms of strongness, it's not very strong at all. It's like a mild flavor of coffee. So if you have been drinking espressos for a while, or cappuccinos for a while, when you come back or you go to any hotel, you might see one of those. Just make I would say a 6 ounce dispensed water through the pod. You should have a good cup of coffee. Anytime you go 8 ounce or 10 ounce, it's pretty diluted. It's like more diluted than a drip coffee, if you ask me. And that's a flavor that I can tell you from my initial taste. And we used about 8 ounces of liquid, and before the water was here, and now it's down here. So we can make a few more, probably like 3-4 more cups of 8 ounce dispense before you need to refill, but otherwise it works fine. Okay, so this is a quick demonstration of how the Keurig 2.0 works. Most of those machines look similar. Some might have the dispenser on the reservoir on the side, some have on the back. On the back is the older models, and some might even have steaming options for milk. Those we're not talking about. We're just talking about how to quickly make a cup of coffee. And for that purpose, it can make you a cup of coffee in about 3 to 4 minutes from heating up the machine to dispense the water and have it ready to drink. The water that came out It's not terribly hot. Okay, it's not as hot as like an espresso drink, but it's you can pretty much just drink immediately if you want. So that's kind of the temperature of the water over there. And if you guys have any questions about the Keurig 2.0, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to answer for you guys. Otherwise, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please do hit the like button or subscribe to my channel. I should have more coffee related videos coming out for you guys. Okay, so thanks again and see you in the next video. Take care. All right, I thought it would be interesting before we go to actually inspect the actual grounds in the cup. So it's a pretty coarse grind compared to an espresso grind, which is gonna be like much finer. This is like a very fine powdery grind for espresso, and this one is very coarse. So in terms of flavor, coarse grind, you're not gonna extract as much flavor, but that's just what it looks like with the hole poked in there. To turn off the machine, very simple, or put it in standby, you just long press the power button. It actually goes into sleep mode. Anytime you need to use the machine, you just press power button again, it comes back on, and it might heat up again to the brewing temperature, and you're ready to go. So that's one way to keep it in eco mode and save energy. Otherwise, you can just unplug the machine if you want as well, but those are all the options. Okay, so I dispensed some more hot water, just kind of washing the group head, because later on I'm going to be selling this machine after the video, and hopefully someone would be able to enjoy using this machine. Very reliable. I've seen it at a lot of places. They pretty much never breaks down if you just maintain them well with a descale every couple months and a clean using espresso clean powder. They should last you forever. Okay, all right, thanks again guys, see you in the next video.